Hey, it's your open source advocate, and I'm back with another video. Today I wanted to talk about something pretty cool that I saw this week, and I'm going to link another video in the description that I saw this on, and it just got me interested. So go take a look at that one as well. I think this one will be fairly quick. I know I say that every time, but I really do think this one will be pretty quick. So this is called DeltaChat. I've done a lot of things on chat and self-hosted chat. I've done Mattermost, I've done Rocket Chat, and I've done Zulip Chat. So this week I wanted to do something a little different, and when I saw this, it just really made me go, oh my gosh, finally. So I'm excited about this, and it's really cool. So what happens is DeltaChat is actually running against my email. Now I know what you're thinking, well, I sign up with my email for all kinds of chat. That's not what I mean. I mean, this is literally a chat view of my email that I host. Now you can use Gmail. You can use Yahoo Mail, you can use Hotmail, you can, whatever email you've got, you can use that. Now, there are some restrictions, things like Proton Mail, Tuda Noda, unfortunately, things like those where they have their own encryption algorithm, and really the end-to-end encryption only works between their email service to their email service. I don't think will work well on DeltaChat. I think you can use them. I'll be honest, I haven't tried that because I don't have an account with those services. I know about them, but I don't have an account with them. I run my own email server. But I have read that you can use them, and on the DeltaChat site, they've got some answers about that. So just be aware of that. But if you're running your own server like I am, and like you should be, self-hosting, this is a really cool thing, because I've always thought, why do I have to go sign up for 7 different chat services in order to chat with the people that I need to reach out to and talk to? Why does my chat have to be hosted by somebody I don't trust? Slack, you're out there on that list. Microsoft, you're definitely on that list. Google, you're on that list, right? I just want something that I can run and kind of run myself, but then the problem with that is, now how do I get people to come to the platform that I'm serving out there on the web and use my chat? It's just not something that's feasible and realistic. My family is on Facebook. They love Facebook. I post things on Facebook. I post very specific, limited things on Facebook. But honestly, I'm not a fan of Facebook, and I'm not ever going to use Facebook Messenger. It is not something I plan to use today. It's not something I've used in the past. It's not something I'm going to use moving forward. It's about that trust. So the email system has been there for years. Everybody has an email address. Some people have multiple email addresses, and I think this is a really cool thing. So basically, if I want to chat, and I've set one up with myself here on my Fix It Del Rio email, and I am chatting with myself through my Gmail, and you can kind of see what happened when I was testing this. So you get DeltaChat, and you start it, and you set it up, and it's very simple. You put in your email server information, and it goes and it basically logs onto your email server, and it starts serving up your email messages. So I've gotten some extra messages that came in today as email, and those show up, and when you click on them, there's some settings that we'll go through, and you can choose whether or not you want to see those things showing up in chat, or if you just want it to be chat services. There is no DeltaChat server. There's no server anywhere that you're talking to other than your email server. So this is just an application that you install on Linux, Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, and then you basically set it up using your email information. Now again, you can use Gmail. If you're a Gmail user, you're not out in the cold. If you don't host your own email and it has IMAP options, then you've got the capability to do this and use DeltaChat. And basically it just sets up email so that it comes in as a chat message. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to drag this over to the right, and I'm going to bring up my Gmail. And there it is, and you can see I'm having this conversation with myself. So I'm going to reply, and this moves at the speed of email. So you're going to say, well, why isn't it instantaneous like when I have an instant message? It's pretty fast. It does take some time, and sometimes certain email services take a little longer to send something through. Sometimes they take a little longer to send something, to receive things. It's not so long that it's painful. So I'm going to send a little test message here. So simple message there. I'm going to hit send, and you can see on the Gmail side it's been sent, and now we'll wait, and we should be able to see it pop up over here on the DeltaChat side in a minute. It just takes a few seconds. It's not going to be your live time chat, and it's not going to give you the indicator that somebody's typing right then. Don't think of it that way, and kind of think of that as a little bit of a privacy breach. Whenever they can tell that you're typing, there's something going on the server that detects where you're at, or it detects that you're there at the keyboard at the time, or that you're on your device, which your device is tracking your location. You know, all these things, right, that people don't think about all of the information that goes out there about us all the time. There's tons. I mean, people can build entire life profiles on you based on the information that's out there on the internet, because we've allowed these companies to collect that for so long. Now, I say all that as I sit here using Gmail. I've had Gmail since basically it was a beta. And I don't mean like the beta where everybody could sign up. I mean the beta where you had to have an invite from somebody who was already in it. That level of beta. So I've been with Gmail for a really long time. It's got a lot of email that I still get on there that's fairly important to me. It's things that I get that are related to development work that I've done, stuff like that. I've had this email set up, you know, for about a year, and it's not something that just shows up one day and everybody knows how to switch to it. You can forward emails and things like that, but getting people switch your email address is not an easy task this day and age, unfortunately. So it takes some time. So I understand that. So if you're using these services today, I get it, but definitely I'm looking forward to using something more like this. So while we're waiting for that to come in, you can see it takes a little while, and it takes a little while to get to my server too. This is my own email server. You know, don't take this as the standard for what it does. It's fairly quick most of the time. So I'm going to go over here to the top and just kind of show you what's in the menus here. So, oh, maybe it's frozen. Oh, it is. Damn. I can't even close it. There we go. Okay, so gonna be totally upfront with you. This is beta software. It crashed. I've reopened it, and you can see here's the message. So the server is running again. It was frozen. That's why it took so long for that to come over. So let's just reply. That may happen from time to time. It's beta. It's going to get better, and you just have to have faith that that's going to get better. So let me see. So when you hit enter, you can change this functionality so that it doesn't actually do a line return. But if you want this to look like an email when it goes to someone, I'll show you that you can also set up signatures and things like that for when it shows up. Otherwise, so right now that's set to do that. I don't know, maybe, let's see. Maybe control enter sends it. Yes, so if you do control and enter, that'll send it instead of having to click on the little button. So now you basically just wait, and you'll see it pop up over here that there's now a 1 in my email, and it's me obviously sending that message back. So that was very quick. I didn't even notice it come up. So if I reply yet again, we'll wait and see if it freezes up on us again. You never know. It should come back over pretty quickly. I mean, it's just using IMAP to get messages back and forth. So we'll give it just a second, and I'll click on this. So you can see some options up here while we're waiting on that message to come in. So you can start a new chat. That's basically start a new email, and you just type in the email address of the person that you're going to send it to. So the person you're sending to doesn't have to have DeltaChat, obviously. I'm showing you that right now. There's the message. So you see it took, what, 15 seconds or so to get here. Now you can reply. So it's just a back and forth thing. This is just handling your email for you, and you set up settings in here to tell DeltaChat what it should or shouldn't be dealing with. So this is start a new message to someone. So basically just go get it. This is archive this chat. So if you want to archive this as a separate set of messages, you can just archive it, and then if somebody sends it to you again, it's not going to start here. It'll pick up as a new thread or a new conversation. You can delete this chat, which is going to delete the email, basically. Show the encryption information for the chat, so you can do this as well. Block this contact, so if you're getting spam and you don't want to hear from those people anymore, you can block them. QR invite code, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it's there, so you can invite something through a QR code. I'll look into that a little bit more. Contact requests, so people who are requesting to contact you, blocked contacts. settings, which we'll get to here in a minute, and switch accounts. So you can have more than one account set up on DeltaChat, and you can switch between them using this function here. Real quick, we'll go up here to the top. So you have File, Quit, you have Edit, and basically all of your edit menu information, View. So you can do float on top, choose the language, and here's all your language options, and then developer information if you want to do development on it. And then help, of course, which will get you to a few places to get some more information. So we're going to click this away, and right here. So here you can add attachments, video, audio, documents, images, things like that. And then you can go back to the chat message. So you got a few little controls up here on the top that are pretty basic. So I'm going to click here again, and we're going to go to Settings. So right off the bat, you can see here's my information. And then here's the signature line that I put in. So you can change this to be kind of what you want. You can also put an avatar if you want one. I haven't done that yet. Password and account. So if you need to change the information for this account that you're signed into, that's where you would click to do that. So we'll click and open it up, and you can see there's the account information. Now when I set this up, because I'm running my own server on Mail-in-a-Box, I did click on the advanced section here and then fill in all of the relevant information there. As on Mail-in-a-Box, it does have server ports, and I think I filled those in, encryption type, things like that. But there was a couple of them that I left as automatic, so just be aware that you may not have to fill in everything. It's pretty smart about what it does, but if it fails, just go back and make adjustments, and then it'll eventually log in correctly. As we continue downward here, so this is the section that I was talking about. So I've set this to say all. So all email that comes in, I want it to show up in DeltaChat, and then as I click a new thread, it asks me, do you want to do this as a chat? You know, basically, which yeah, of course I do. That's why I want it to come in here. But you can set this to be only chat-based information that's running through DeltaChat. It kind of gets its own folder set up in your email server, and that's really kind of what is happening. Is it says, hey, I'm going to take that message and put it in that DeltaChat folder so that I can deal with it. It's not being deleted. It's not being put in sent. And they have a lot of really good explanations on their FAQ. But basically, they do that so that if you do IMAP, if you put it in the sent folder, then it shows up twice. It kind of duplicates things. So they do this on purpose, and it's pretty smart the way that they do it. But you can check whichever box you want here. So privacy, read receipts. So basically, I'll send read receipts when I've read the message. This is just automatic. You can turn this off if you don't want to send read receipts to somebody who's requesting them. You'll notice over here, I don't get a read receipt. It just because I don't request them. So if somebody requests it through email, then this would automatically send it. Here you can change the background, so I did that. This is the normal color, and I just changed it to a little bit darker color to offset the bubbles. I like that. So AutoCrypt, this is what they use for the end-to-end encryption, and basically you can set up multiple devices to use DeltaChat, and when you do that, you basically need to send a share the encryption message to the other device. So they have an app on the App Store. You get in there and you set up the app, and then you can send this to send that share. And I'll do that here in a minute on my phone, and we'll see how it works because I haven't tried it yet. But this is how you get multiple devices to be able to see these chats. So here's the setting for the enter key when you're down here in the chat bubble. If you'd rather the enter key send the message, then what it does now, which is hit a new line, you can turn that on right here, and then it would be enter to send instead of control enter. Notifications, so I've enabled notifications so that I get notifications of new messages. And then show message content, so basically here it shows you who it's from and a little bit of the content for the message. They have experimental features. I have not turned that on yet. It's still beta software, so I feel like the whole thing's kind of experimental, but they do have some other things that you can turn on. So the IMAP folder handling, which says I'm telling it watch the inbox folder, so I'm just telling it to watch all of these folders and kind of create chats out of that. If you find it's too much, you can turn some of these off and make adjustments to kind of figure out what's working best for you. And then here you can manage your keys. So if you have keys that you need to export or import, you can do that. And finally, you can back up the information if you feel like you need to have a backup of it as well. So that's all the settings. I mean, there's not really a lot there, but there's a good amount that lets you kind of tailor the experience to what you like, and I kind of like that. So I'm going to grab my phone, and we're going to try to send those keys over. Alright, I'm recording on my phone now, and I've got DeltaChat open, so let me go down here to the section where it says to send the keys. So it just tells me, hey, this is something you're about to do. I'm going to hit OK. And I see a new message show up on my phone here, so I'm going to tap on it. Alright, so you tap or click on the message that shows up on the phone, and now it's asking for one of the numbers that they provided me here on the screen. Please enter the setup code displayed on the other device. I hope that whole thing is not the code, because that's a really long code. But maybe it is, and maybe that's the point. Okay, finally got it all typed in. You do have to type the hyphens, and you do have to type all of the digits on the screen. It is not something super simple. This would be a great place for any of the guys from the DeltaChat project. Put a QR code. Please make this easier for me on my device. But other than that, pretty cool. So I'm going to hit OK on my phone. I'm going to go back, and now I should be able to get messages on both devices that will sync up. Let's go send a new message here. Okay, I sent that. We'll see if we get it on both devices or just that device, or my main computer here. Alright, there's the message. It never came to my phone, so I think in their FAQ they talk about messages not going between devices if they've already been kind of started from the DeltaChat side. So if it started from this device on the DeltaChat side, it won't just automatically sync with my phone, or vice versa maybe. So let me try something here. I'm going to go to Compose, and I'm going to create a new message. So let's see what happens here now. I have rebooted, and now I have DeltaChat installed. Who knows why I had to reboot? Not a normal thing, but let's see how it does. So it opens up. It's still got my settings. That's awesome. Here we go. So I've got the last message that I sent myself from Google, but I do not have it on my device, on my phone. So it's not going to sync between your devices right now. Again, on the FAQ, I believe I read that they're working on ways that there could be some syncing happening. But right now, it didn't do that. So let me start one from my device, and let's see what happens there. So the same story. It didn't show up here for the new chat that I started from my device. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of syncing between these things. Again, I think if it's a new message coming in from a person, it may come to both, but in this case it's not going to be synced between them. Alright, I wanted to give you a quick update. So I started this yesterday, and I was trying to set up my phone to also get emails that I get on my computer. And then today I was out in my office. This is my computer here in my house, and I have another Ubuntu machine out in my office, so I set it up, and I use the phone to actually send the setup codes. And it all seemed to work, and I tested it a little bit. So there's some funny stuff that happens. So first of all, you have kind of these device messages. So I don't have it on this one that I see. Yeah, so this is kind of just messages that you get on the device as you go along and start using DeltaChat. By the way, I did install the Debian version, and it does seem to be behaving much better. So if you're going out there to get it, if they I think they have an RPM, they have a Debian. So if you have one of those options, I would definitely use that over the app image just currently. Out in my office, I ran it all day, had no problems. And I do still like the interface quite a bit. I like the chat kind of version of this, so I think I'll continue to use it. And I did set it up to sync up my devices. Now it says, and I talked about this yesterday, so after I sent that email from my Gmail out to this device, it did kind of get locked up, and I was having those issues, so I installed this. I did check it this morning, and I did have it on this device and on my phone. So it does, whenever it sends from someone else, it'll go to your multiple devices once they're set up to all use the same auto-crypt stuff. So just be aware of that, because I wanted to make sure I corrected that. And then also, when I set up the device out in the office, it gave me a little message under this that said, hey, it looks like you're using multiple devices to check this account. And it said, go into settings and turn on send copy to self in order to have emails that you generate from DeltaChat show up on your other versions of DeltaChat. So it's basically kind of like a little way to sync them up. So it creates a copy in your DeltaChat folder that your other devices go and look at and say, oh yeah, I need that too. So I said, oh, okay, great, I want to go set that setting. So I went here and I went to settings, and I started looking, and I scrolled down, and I kept scrolling down, and I continued to scroll down, and I never find that setting in here. This is it. This is the bottom. So I kind of kept looking, I kept checking, I kept thinking, okay, I'm missing something somewhere, and maybe I still am, but I never did find that setting that they're talking about. So I went back to the messages, and I thought, okay, well, here's this little, 3 dots. Maybe it's here, but no, it's not on the 3 dots either. So I kept going, and I kept trying, and I kept thinking, okay, well, I mean, maybe it's in one of these things. It's just not. So I put in a request out there on GitHub. It looks like the development on this is ongoing, but I haven't gotten any response so far as to where that may be. So I gave them some detail, like, hey, I don't see this option or this button. Hopefully they'll get back with me and they'll say, oh yeah, we are given that message, but it's not actually in the interface. Alright, here's a little update. I actually went out, I told you I had listed that the setting they suggested wasn't in the interface, so they replied to me and said that it was in the updated version, which apparently was out. But if you go to the DeltaChat site, you can't get that version on the .deb yet for sure. So I went to their GitHub page, and then I went to the Releases tab, and show you where that's at here. I'm going to go here to the DeltaChat desktop page, so I'll put a link in the show notes for this, of course. And if you go over here to Releases, you'll see up here version 0999.1, which tells me they're really getting close to ready to release version 1. But for now, you can get that. So I had the version 901. So I don't know how far back that is, but they've got a lot of, right here. So I had this version, and it didn't have those settings. So since then, they've put out a couple of releases here. And so I went and got this one, and you can find just the .deb file, or you can get the DMG for Mac. You can get the app image, the exe for Windows. So you've got a few options here. A portable for Windows, which means it doesn't install anything. It's actually kind of a self-contained file, which is nice. So go out and you can get this version, and when you do that and you install it and restart DeltaChat, you go to settings. So first you can see the version up here at the top. Go to settings, and as we scroll down, so used to we didn't have this option right here, so I'm going to turn that on, and I'm done. So that's now turned on and saved. So if I start messages now from this version of DeltaChat on my other machine, I should be able to see those messages as they're happening and actually have conversations from any chat window that I want. So I just wanted to give that update before I finished up this video. So if you don't know, I start these things sometimes and it takes me several days to get everything put together. Sometimes I get it all in one take, sometimes I do multiple takes, sometimes I use multiple machines. It just depends on what it is and what I'm trying to do. My goal in the end is to give you all of the things that I found that make it simple to get set up and to help you realize where there might be hurdles that you're going to have to overcome. So I hope that helps. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos. Thanks.